76 on the quarter note. 3, 4. I want to talk about a few concepts and particularly emphasize the concept of timing and rhythm and the use of the metronome. But this song I'm giving it the category of a gospel funk tune for two aspects. First of all, the chords are those kind of chords which are gospel sounding chords. They're really basic full sounding chords, but without a lot of what we call jazz voicings or jazz upper extensions, that kind of thing. They're very basic chords, also using a lot of chords like that, which is an inverted F chord. In other words, in first inversion, and then then a C7 inverted in second inversion, and then that kind of amen type of chord, and these type of chords. And it can also fit the country western kind of chords as well. But the other thing about it, the funk thing is more like the rhythm, and it's like, so the underlining rhythm is this. See, so you have one, that's right on the one, and one, and. So it's on the and of two. So that rhythm with even eighths sounds funky. 3, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 So this off the beat playing, and the metronome is going to help you with that, but it's also going to be a big challenge. Now, playing with the metronome or playing without it, if you're playing without the metronome, you're going to play better, generally. When you play with the metronome, you're not going to play as well. And the reason for that is because it's difficult to play with the metronome because it's so metric. You know, it's not like a real person. If you're playing with a band and a drummer, they're going to flow with you. In other words, if you go a little bit ahead of the beat or you go a little behind the beat, they're going to adapt to that. The metronome won't do that. So what happens is when you're playing with the metronome, you're very conscious of it, and you're very conscious of staying with it. And so what happens is your focus on what you're doing is becoming distracted. But here's the central point. The point is that when you practice with the metronome, your time is going to get better. It doesn't matter by the fact that you're being distracted. That distraction you will overcome over time when you play with the metronome. The more you play with it, the more you practice with it and try to relax with it, the better you will get. And the better you will be as a musician, the better you will play with other musicians and so on, and they'll know that your time is great. And what'll happen is most of the time you'll be frustrated because nobody else's time is as good as yours. So there you have it. But anyway, no, regardless of that, how do I know this? Because it's difficult for me to what's the word? In other words, to play it without the metronome and then transform and play it with the metronome. I have to do all those things. I have to think about the metronome. I have to try to make all my lines even. Everything I'm doing has to feel rhythmically in the pocket. And the better you get at this, now the guys that are really good at this are, those guys are master musicians. You know, all your Dizzy Gillespie's, your Thelonious Monks, and all your great funk musicians that play that, you know, Bob James and all those people, they just maybe they'd even practice. You think Thelonious Monk ever used a metronome? He probably didn't. He was just born that way. He knew he had an internal metronome. So anyway, I'm gambling on here. There we go. So in conclusion, let me put it this way. When you can play with a metronome and sound as good as you do without it, then you really have taken a big step in your playing. You have really conquered one of the great issues in playing music, and that is having good time and good rhythm. And you know, so you need to record yourself both ways, like I just did. And I realized, you know, when I recorded myself playing without the metronome, I played more comfortably, I played better. When I played with the metronome, I had to adjust to it, and I was more distracted, you know. However, can be really a fun thing. When you make friends with the metronome, it can be really fun to try to play with it and challenge yourself that way. You know, and be able to play, you know, you can do little exercises, like for instance, you can just put it on and try to play right on the beat, like, and then play like, well, first of all, you have to listen to it. I'm not listening to it enough. So you really it forces you to listen to the metronome and not so much yourself. So, now let's go with the upbeat. Now you have to hear that as an upbeat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then, like, let's go a little bit of syncopation. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. That's ahead of the 3. See, 1 and 2 and 3. I mean, you can make up rhythms, and I'll have some of these written out for you. But the thing is to practice a lot of rhythms and also practice the counting. Like, in other words, you have to count like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 4 1 and 2 3 4. How about 1 and 2 and 3 4? Let's go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In other words, yeah. I'll write out a few for you, but like the thing is to try it at different tempos, and including up tempos. You know, practice Donnelly or like up tempo things with a metronome on 2 and 4. Like, so you say let's say this is just a 2 and 4. I'm going to play Foggy Day. So now this. You see, now that particular song, I can leave space so I can really sort of partner with the metronome. You know, I'm partnering with it. It's like we're together. We're like a unit, the two of us. Like, does it have a brain? No, it does. It has a brain, but it's very metric. It's sort of like the perfect brain. So I can play off the beat, but still, he's going to tell me where I am. if you think this is easy, it isn't. You know, it took me a lot of years to figure out how to do this. So I'm hoping that I can get you started at this at whatever age you're at or wherever you are now, and you need this. This is something you need. I hope this is going to be a breakthrough for you, because for me it's a breakthrough to be teaching it, but also to be reviewing it and understanding it from my perspective, and how important it is and how much it will help you as a musician to be better. You know, wrapping up, a lot of people ask me, how do I get better rhythm or better time? Well, this is one way you can practice with rhythm and time, but you need to really study the music. You need to learn how to count the figures, and you need to use a metronome or something like Band on the Box, or you know, play along records like that, but you can't trust them because sometimes they actually rush or drag on those records. But so like the metronome is the true thing. If you have a good metronome, and this is not the best one, but it's certainly not the most expensive one, but it has, what I like about this Seiko is it's, first of all, it's inexpensive. Secondly, it has a volume control, so you can make it loud or soft. See, there it is. And it has two pitches, so like if you like the higher pitch or the lower pitch, see, there's the lower pitch. Here's the higher pitch. And you really want one that's loud. You have to be able to hear it and feel it and listen to it while you're playing, and try to groove with it. You know, like you got to become partners or friends with it. When you're friends with it, then you have made a big, huge step. And I can't tell you how important this step is. You will know, and everyone else who listens to you play will know when you have improved to the point where your time is really solid. And not only will the musicians know, but all the people that listen to you play will know. So that's it. We'll wrap up. Signing off from the Jazz Ranch. Please write to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to emphasize the importance of using the metronome and how it will improve your playing, and how to get better at playing your rhythm and all that, and your timing and that sort of thing, which is central for all of us that are learning to play music and jazz. So until next time, I'll say in the words of my great friend, God bless his merry soul, up there in the stars, Hermie Dressel, he said this: swing loose. And we'll see you next time around. Bye-bye.